Snake, snake, snake. That is the four-line rat snake. They have a tendency to be rather bitey.
Japan, a location the brave wilderness crew and I have long dreamed of exploring. On our first day in country, we headed out toward a remotely wild place that is well known for having a high density of animal activity. And while Japan is often called the land of the rising sun, upon our arrival, we found ourselves smack in the middle of typhoon season. So instead of witnessing the sun, we were welcomed with the obstacle of persistent rainfall.
This is a pretty crazy bridge.
Oh man, it's wobbling.
You know, if we didn't tell you this was Japan, you may think this is Costa Rica. Wow.
Look at that.
How about that?
Look at that view. Wow.
What do you think, Mario?
Pretty high off the ground here.
Bridge is a little unstable,
Yeah,
guys.
let's not shake it. Let's not shake the bridge. Quite a ways up right now, I'd say well over 100 feet on a suspension bridge in the middle of ancient Japanese forest. You can just feel the energy with this rain coming down. It feels like Costa Rica, but this is Japan proper right here, guys. All right, we're heading further up the mountain to see what we can find in this rainstorm. All right, guys, let's keep moving. Whoa, it's tough to keep your balance.
A little bit of rain wasn't going to stop this fearless band of animal adventurers. So we pressed onward with the hopes that eventually this rain would end. If anything was going to slow our progress, it was the inevitable curse of jet lag.
Here's one thing you guys may not realize about life on location, is we have been in Japan officially for just about 48 hours, and it's a 13-hour time difference. So right now in the United States, in Ohio, it is 3:15 in the morning. And that means that it is, I don't know what time here, but my math skills are a little off. And you feel like you're in a trance. Jet lag is a very real thing, especially when you're out hiking in the wilderness and trying to keep your focus. Even hiking is difficult. All right, I'm falling behind. Let me catch up with the guys.
Despite feeling displaced, this rugged wilderness was the perfect place to search for animals. And the good thing about rain is that eventually it stops. When it does, the animals come out from hiding and begin to hunt amongst the freshly saturated terrain.
All right, guys, so we have made it sort of up to this clearing. Check this out. There's a road that goes all the way down that direction. Sort of goes up toward that next mountain peak. Oh, snake, snakes.
Got it?
Wait, let me identify it. Mario, what is that? That's a rat snake, right?
Rat snake.
Got its tail, got its tail.
Got it?
Yep. Had a think for a second there. Hold on, let me just put this GoPro down. All right, hold on. Yeah, I got it. All right, come here, buddy, come here. That is a 4-line rat snake right there. Oh, hold on.
Oh man, that's a good sized snake.
Yeah, that's a good sized snake for sure. Now, they can be pretty feisty. There we go. Hi, buddy. Oh, look at that. That's our first snake of the trip right there. Whoa. No biting. There we go. Oh, look at the tail. Look at the tail going. Defensive mimicry right there. That's so crazy because there are no rattlesnakes in this area. No rattlesnakes in Japan, period. And let alone this rat snake is using its tail as a sign that, hey, I may be venomous. You better back off. All right, guys, let's back up just a touch here. Let me get up onto the trail. Yes, how about that? We got above the rain and managed to find our first snake. You got that? All right. How's your lighting there?
Perfect.
Wow, perfect. Hanging out right on my arm, that is the 4-line rat snake, one of the coolest constrictor species here in Japan, and actually one of the largest snakes that you'll find anywhere here in Japan. One of the largest snakes. They can grow up to close to 7 feet in length. What a beautiful snake. Look how calm it's being too. Now, because this is a non-venomous species, they have a tendency to be rather bitey, so sometimes they will strike
but that's not a bite that I need to be concerned with. They do have a slight anticoagulant in their saliva, but their primary means for catching and killing their prey is to actually constrict around it. Now this snake, oh, I see you puffing up your head into a triangle shape. No biting. This is actually great. The snake is staying completely calm. I see you. This is great. You're making it very simple for Mario to get the B-roll shots. Now, when they wrap around their prey, what they do is constrict down until that breathing is cut off. Once the prey suffocates, then they have the ability to swallow the prey down. And look at that perfect strike pose right there. Looks as if it may just lunge out and bite me in the nose. Now, where does that name come from? Oh,
man, that was cool.
Yeah. Well, I've got it just positioned so that I know it can't actually reach my face. Like I was saying, where does that name come from? The four-lined rat snake. You can see those four distinct lines that run down the length of the snake's body. And here's something that I really love. It makes it very easily identifiable. See that little black band just behind the eye? Makes it look like a raccoon mask or maybe a ninja mask. Whoop, there you go. These snakes are incredibly fast, incredibly cunning. Now they hunt after small rodents, but they'll also eat things like small toads, frogs, lizards, and will even go up into trees to rob bird nests of their young or of eggs. Wow, what a beautiful snake. Very smooth, very streamlined, just like the black rat snakes that we have in the States. And of course, this is also related in a sense to the fox snake. Wow, what a great find. Now, like I said, we just got above the cloud line, so the rain has died back, and this snake is not afraid to be out in the rain. In fact, this is perfect for this snake to be out hunting for amphibians. A lot of small newts, frogs, toads will all be out right now hunting amongst the rain.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of frogs crossing the trail.
Right, which makes the perfect opportunity for this snake to get its meal. What a handsome creature. All right, well, let's place this snake right back onto the path, let it head in that direction, and see what else we can find.
Let's do it.
Wow, look at that slither. The four-lined rat snake is one of the most common reptile species one can hope to come across in Japan. Their calm demeanor and non-venomous nature make them a wonderful snake to interact with, especially for our first animal that we encountered on this trip. Yet danger always seems to find us. And as predicted, with the passing of the rain came the emergence of the animals. Previously on Breaking Trail, we managed to come across one of the most elusive reptiles in all of Japan, the Japanese ground snake. This fossorial animal is almost never seen by humans, and we uncovered it by gently flipping a decomposing log in one of the country's most ancient forests.
Oh, snake right here.
Sweet, wow, it almost looks like a rubber boa. Look at that. We are exploring in the Tottori Prefecture, a remote stretch of wilderness in southwestern Japan. Our goal is to share with you some of the animals that call this forest home, while also admiring the breathtaking beauty of its timeless landscape. After releasing the ground snake back into its shadowy refuge, we soon after stumbled upon a creature that could be considered a candidate for a science fiction narrative.
All right, this log is actually flippable. See how long a lot of these are?
Oh, yeah.
I thought they'd be easier to move. They're not. All right, this one is busted in half. Let's see what we got. Oh, a Sicilian! A Sicilian! Look! Right there, Mario, Sicilian!
Oh, yeah.
Hang on a second.
Look. Right there.
It looks like one, but there's actually none native to Japan. So that's got to be something else.
That's not a Sicilian?
No.
Here, let's bring it back down here on this log. That's gotta be a Sicilian. Check this out. So there are no Sicilians in Japan, but my immediate instinct was, a Sicilian. It looks exactly like one. Now, my hands are not real moist, so what I actually want to do, I'm going to set it down there and get some water on my hands. It's got to be some kind of a worm.
Oh, yeah.
We just run a little bit of water onto it.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, here we go. Let me just sort of analyze it first. I don't think there are any like venomous or poisonous worm species, at least not to my knowledge, but look at the head. Yeah, it's definitely a worm now that I'm seeing it out on this log and it's moving about. Whoa. It's got a proboscis. Look at that. It's got a little mouth part that comes out.
It is extremely rigid, very muscular feeling. I guess we should find out if it bites or not. Let's see. Oh, it's tasting me. Definitely no biting mouth parts like the bloodworm.
Whoa.
This is crazy. The most bizarre looking worm I ever thought we would have come across. Look at the top of it. It's blue and iridescent. Can you see that if I just slightly angle it in the light?
I mean, if you held the Sicilian we found in Costa Rica next to that, it'd be tough to tell.
Well, the reason that I thought it was is look at the belly. The underside is very light in coloration and the top is dark, very indicative of something that is fossorial. Keeps it camouflaged from up above, but from underneath, it doesn't need to be dark in color. Now, unlike the earthworms that we see in the United States, there's no distinct middle section to this worm, which is another reason that I thought it was a Sicilian. Look how far it's capable of stretching out. Look at the length of that worm.
Whoa.
You can actually see inside its belly. You can see whatever it's been eating is inside there.
There's a chance this is a predatory worm.
A good chance, yeah. I mean, with that proboscis up front, I assume they could be eating small little microorganisms, mites and small ants. It's actually really cool when I place it down on the moss and you can see it, the contrastiness against that green. As we know, worms have no proper skeleton. It's just like one big muscular slinky. And look at that, when I place it down in the moss, it curiously moves from spot to spot, and it's using its mouth to investigate all of this moss. I imagine sensing for chemicals to help it find direction, because from what I can see, it does not have any eyeballs. Now that is definitely the front end, and this is definitely the back end.
Wow, look how long it's stretched out now.
Crazy. I bet this thing is close to a foot in length when fully extended. Well, Japan is certainly full of all kinds of interesting surprises, and this dense forest ecosystem is so rich with wildlife and a lot of animals that must stay out of the sun. We've got the sun directly overhead right now, and even with it cascading through some of those top branches, everything in here stays completely shaded. Everything is moist. Look at this environment. All the pine needles are completely saturated. The ground is sopping wet. You have all of this moss. It's the perfect place for an alien-looking creature like this to live. Pick it back up here. Let's get one more close look. Come here, buddy.
And I noticed there's not a whole lot of slime coming off this worm.
No, I mean, I've definitely been getting my hands wet with water just to make sure that I don't suck any of the hydration from its skin, but it is not slimy like the earthworms that we have in the States. Go ahead, Mark, put your hand out there and just feel that worm.
Whoa.
How about that? Doesn't feel like the earthworms at home, does it?
Whoa.
Very strong, too, very muscular.
It almost feels like it has a bit of a skeleton.
Right. It does, but as we know, worms do not have proper skeletons. They also don't have exoskeletons. They're essentially just lengths of internal muscle. And when I laid it down on the log earlier, you could see how it was able to just slink from spot to spot. That segmentation moving just like a slinky. Well, I would definitely say that exploring these deep, dark forests here in Japan have certainly paid off with a number of very cool and bizarre species. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. On the exterior of our planet, we often see animals that we recognize from the pages of books, images on television, or even in person at our local parks. A whole society of creatures are living and thriving beneath our feet. They are bizarre, alien-like, and often considered living nightmares. But the truth is that these animals, which appear to be from another planet, are more likely to be quiet, skittish, and completely harmless, despite their outward appearance. The true oddities of the natural world always seem to captivate us, and it brings the Brave Wilderness team great excitement to share them with all of you. There are moments we have brought you on the Brave Wilderness channel that the world will never forget. Oh, it's stuck in my arm! It's stuck in my arm! Then there are the moments that we know the world is waiting for. I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the Executioner Wasp. Here we go. But before we get there, first, I must face one more horrific sting. The Tottori Prefecture is one of the most remote stretches of wilderness in all of Japan. And mysteriously hidden deep within its fog-covered mountains, a world of giants stalk this ancient landscape. For days we searched in every place possible. Yet much to our chagrin, it seemed as if an encounter with Japan's most notorious insect would elude us. Then on our second to last day in country, when it seemed as if all hope was lost, the very encounter I had been searching for presented itself in the form of a giant hornet. Hornet, right there. Right in the edge of that leaf. Look at that. It's huge. Right there. Got it! Hornet! Giant hornet, 100%.
You got one?
Yes. Hold on a second. Yes, right there.
Dude, you got it.
Got it. Hold on, I'm gonna put the GoPro
Wow,
down.
that is a big hornet.
Where is it? Hold on.
It's right here.
Right there.
Wow.
Let me trap it up against the front of the net.
Shot it.
Where is it?
It's tangled up with
Mario,
all
look
these
at
plants.
that.
Where?
Look. It's biting right through the net.
You can barely see it.
Here, let's do this. I gotta get it in the capsule.
Let's get in the capsule.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Here,
Do you need help?
hold the end of that. Yeah, you guys will be able to see it a lot better if I get it into here. Hold on a second. Do not want to get stung through the net. Okay. Okay. Almost got it.
You're sure it's a giant?
I'm 100% certain, dude. It's huge. There's no way this is anything else. Look at it, it's biting onto the net. I'd probably chew right through there if it could.
Not stung yet.
Got it.
See the look at it.
Ooh. Look at that. That is it. Yep.
You got one. Man.
How about that, right? Oh my goodness, look at how big it is. My hand is shaking.
How'd you find it?
It was just on top of the plants. I saw it was about ready to take off and I was like, I don't know if I got the shot on the GoPro. Just dropped it into the dirt. I just had to make sure that I got it. I swiped down right on top of those plants, got the plants and got the hornet at the same time. It is huge. Wow. I guess that's why they call it the giant hornet. Man, okay, well, we're starting to lose light, but we definitely still have time to get this scene. Let's hike back up this way, find a flat spot. Yes, we have got the Japanese giant hornet. Man, oh yeah. There it is, the Japanese giant hornet. And I would say the giant is an understatement. Not since the tarantula hawk have we encountered a more intimidating insect. Look at that beast. From its head to its thorax, down its legs which end in grappling hooked feet, and then of course that enormous pulsating abdomen. Everything about this creature screams, run in the other direction. Yet here we are, on the doorstep of the executioner wasp. And what we're gonna find out today is just how painful the sting of this hornet really is. Now on the insect sting pain index, it only ranks as a 2. Can you believe that? On a scale of 1 to 4, this is only a 2. Maybe its bark is bigger than its bite, or in this case, I should say its sting. Today, I'm going to be stung by the largest hornet in the world. All right, what we're gonna do now is get a couple of really cool B-roll shots. I'm gonna walk around, address the coyote pack, and then we're gonna enter the sting zone. Whew, I am nervous. The Japanese giant hornet is considered to be one of the largest stinging insects in the world. This nightmarish creature is armed with a 6.25 millimeter stinger, and it injects a venom known as Mandara toxin in a high dosage that can destroy tissue and attack the nervous system of its victim. And while a single sting is not likely to be deadly, over 30 people die every year in Japan from taking multiple stings. In most cases, these deaths come as a result of anaphylactic shock. But no matter how you break it down, this sting is incredibly dangerous.
That is a big hornet. That is a huge hornet, the biggest hornet on the face of the planet. And I have a feeling that the sting is going to be intense. Now, it's rumored that the sting of this insect can kill you. Guys, a single sting is not going to kill me unless I go into anaphylactic shock. Now, if you were to be swarmed by 30 or 40 of these and be stung repetitively, yes, there is a good chance you will die. Now, I've also heard that the venom is going to cook a hole in my arm. Not exactly looking forward to that, but it all depends how my body reacts to the venom. Everybody reacts differently. You guys have to remember that. So, I'm gonna go through with this. I know a lot of you are probably running to the comment section right now saying, Coyote, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this. I do have to do this. We have climbed the insect sting pain index, and this is the only one, guys, the only one that I think we just have to find out how bad that sting is. It's so big, it's such a dominant character throughout all of Japanese culture, and certainly when it comes to the insect sting pain index, I don't think we can leave this stone unturned. So if you guys are ready, I think the crew is ready. It is time to enter the sting zone with the Japanese Giant Hornet. Here we go.
Warning. Never attempt to recreate the following scene, as a sting from the giant hornet has the potential to be lethal.
All right, guys, this is it. The moment that you all showed up for. Now, before we go through with the sting, first let's talk a little bit about the safety. We do have an epinephrine pen with us. Now, a single sting from this hornet should not kill me. However, like most stings, you can go into anaphylactic shock. It just depends how your body reacts to the venom. I should be just fine. I will experience some pain, discomfort, and potentially some pretty extreme swelling, but I shouldn't die from a single sting. I do have my entomology forceps with me. What we're gonna do is get the insect into the net, and then I'm gonna get it under control. Same way we've done all the sting videos in the past. Are you guys ready?
Sounds good. Are you ready to do this?
Here we go.
All right.
All right, net coming up. This is probably one of the most risky bits. We do not want to lose the hornet, and I do not want to get stung too early. Okay, I'm gonna gently stand up here, put the basin of the capsule at the bottom of the net. All right, and hornet is going live inside the net. Let me get the platform out. Here we go, platform is out of the net. And, come on guy, out you go. All right, hornet is out of the capsule. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the capsule close. You guys know the goal is to always get the capsule back on top of the insect before it flies away. I'll place that there for just a second. And now it gets intense. I have to figure out the best way to pick up this giant. I wanna grab right onto the back of its thorax behind the wings so I have full control. All right, you guys got a good shot? All right, I'm gonna slightly have to maneuver myself just a little bit here. Ooh, it is not happy. This is one angry hornet. Hold on. Gotta get it to turn. Oh, it's turning. Hold on a second. My hand is shaking. Control your nerves, Coyote. Control your nerves. My heart is racing 1,000,000 miles a second, and I can't keep my hand still to grab onto the insect. Hold on. The hornet is actually biting onto the forceps. Actually, I'm gonna pin it like this. Okay, I've got it. Perfect hold. That's what we want. Wow. All right, everyone just take a moment to soak this in. That is an enormous hornet. Look at its abdomen pulsating. And you look at the mandibles, those are used for chomping. I think I may also take a bite during this video as well, which I'm kind of afraid of. And if you zoom in on the legs, you can see that they have these little hooks. They almost look like grappling hooks. And one thing that also scares me, there is the chance it's gonna latch onto my arm and sting more than once. I can't stop my hand from shaking. I haven't been this nervous since the tarantula hawk.
Sure you want to do this?
Yeah, there's no turning back now. All right, you guys ready?
Ready if you are.
I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the Japanese Giant Hornet. 1, 2, here we go, 3. Ah! Oh, this stinger's stuck in my arm. Oh! Ooh.
How bad is it?
Oh man, wave of dizziness really quick. Ah! Oh! Oh, searing pain! Absolute searing pain! There's where the stinger went in right there. Did you not see how slow the sting was? Oh!
I see blood.
Ah! Oh my gosh! Ah! Ah! Oh my gosh!
I know it's tough to describe it. You gotta describe it for me.
Okay. My hand is completely seized up and locked in place. This is like the tarantula hawk. Look at the swelling that's beginning to form on my arm. Forearm is incredibly taut. Only about 45 seconds have gone by.
Careful not to go over this cliff edge, by the way. Let's move it over there.
Back up. Ah!
You gotta tell us if you're in trouble. Are you gonna be okay?
When the stinger went into my arm, I had this like a wave came over me and I got super dizzy. Almost didn't feel what was happening. And then the pain just was like immediately searing.
Look at your arm. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Wow. You are swelling like crazy. He's swelling up bad.
Hang on a second. Let's put a circle around where the swelling's
Yeah,
at to see the progression of it.
This is the outer, and then that is the immediate right there.
Oh man. Not a 2. Far surpasses the tarantula hawk. Here, look at this. If I turn my arm sideways, look at the welt on my, okay. Can't touch near it. Sharp shooting pain if I touch near it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I can see that your wrist is starting to swell. Do you want to take your watch off? You know?
I got it.
Yeah. That's good.
No relief yet. It's just a matter of harnessing the pain, controlling the level of pain, and rolling around on the ground and screaming at this point. It really isn't doing me any good. All right, let's cut cameras and come back in about 5 minutes. Let me get a drink of water.
All right, man. Well, I could definitely see that.
Don't touch it.
I'm not gonna touch it. I just want to show everyone at home. The swelling has completely gone outside of these initial marks. I mean, and I don't think you're out of the woods yet. I think that's gonna swell a whole lot worse.
Yeah, we are only 20 minutes in at this point. 20 minutes since that stinger went deep into my forearm. You can see the discoloration in my skin there, the massive goose egg that has formed. The venom has worked its way up my arm.
Can you show us the lump? Can you hold your arm up at all? Oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm sure you guys want to know how this feels as compared to some of the other top insects on the Sting Index. It blows the cow killer out of the water, no comparison. It definitely trumps the tarantula hawk. When we're talking bullet ant, I would definitely say that at this point it is on par. And in just 1 month, the episode you have all been waiting for, the sting of the executioner wasp, will determine who the true king of sting really is. We're gonna monitor this sting for the next 24 hours and see what happens. I can promise you this much. I've got a world of pain ahead of me for the next few hours. All right, let's get an outro and get back down to civilization. You ready?
Yep.
I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Man, oh, that was a bad one.
The hours following my brutal sting were some of the most painful I have ever faced, and my arm continued swelling to nearly double its normal size. The trauma that my mind and body endured Today seemed like a blur. Yet when we look back, there was a strange similarity to the scenario I faced with a bullet ant. Both insect stingers became lodged in my arm, and as a result, they pumped me with a higher dosage of venom than I had originally intended to take. When I compare the stings side by side, I'm completely honest when I say that the Japanese Giant Hornet is an overall more intimidating and ultimately more painful sting than the bullet ant.
Oh, steering pain! Absolute steering pain!
You all right, man?
Yep!
There's no question about it. Through my personal experience, the Japanese Giant Hornet ranks as a 4 on the Insect Sting Pain Index. Deep within the mist-covered mountains, a complex network of rivers and streams cut through the ancient landscape of Japan. Crystal clear and often fast-flowing, these waters provide a refuge for various aquatic species, including one of the planet's largest amphibians, the Japanese Giant Salamander. And while we will certainly be putting a focused effort on getting that species up close for the cameras, today we are in search of its smaller and strangely more dangerous cousin, the fire-belly newt. The Tottori Prefecture is one of the most remote and biologically diverse ecosystems in all of Japan. The dense forests and lush landscapes are teeming with wildlife, and if you make your way into the valleys, you find the source of this location's life, its waterways.
Wow, there's some huge rocks. Look at that. Absolutely massive. You don't want one of these toppling down on your head, that crush your whole body. We are exploring a river habitat that is strewn full of these boulders, but you see there are also these calm pockets that don't have any flow to them. Now, what we're searching for are Japanese fire-belly newts. They are very prominent in this location. With just a little bit of effort, we should be able to get some up close for the cameras. All right, I'm just ahead of the team. I'm gonna scout down around this bend. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. This might be a newt episode.
With my eyes focused, I searched the pockets of water, hoping to catch sight of any fleeing animals. And it wasn't long before I successfully came upon our target species.
All right, so what are we doing? Coming up to these pockets here, I got a whole cluster of newts. It's exactly what we've been looking for.
You gotta use all 4s. Okay.
All right, guys, so we forged across the main stretch of the river and I found this pocket that is filled with Japanese fire-belly newts. Now, what I have with me is the Brave Wilderness Adventure Kit bug collection container, which today is gonna double for handling newts. So if you guys are ready, I'm gonna pick up a couple of them out of this pocket and we're gonna get them up close for the cameras.
All right.
Now, where did they go? Oh, here's one here. Whoa. In you go, in you go. I'm just gonna grab a handful of them. We'll really just look at one. Look at that little guy right there. Hi, buddy. I saw a really big one. Where did it go? And they blend perfectly into all of these leaves. Just trying to gently move the environment around a little bit until one swims, and then we'll be able to catch it. Oh, there it is.
See
Right
it?
back in the corner right here. You see it?
You get shot. Oh, yeah.
See it down there? Oh, there's two, actually, one right next to each other.
Nice.
I'm gonna get them both. 2 newts at once. There we go. Got him.
Double catch.
Double newt catch! All right, well, I think 4 is a good collection.
That's awesome.
All right, let's get them up here into the better light and get them up close for the cameras. Now, I said it when we walked up and caught these newts, but these are Japanese fire-belly newts. And while they may appear to be adorable, and there's no argument as to whether or not they are, this is one of the most toxic amphibian species in the world. Now, I wanted to collect a few of them out of that little pocket of water. Look at them, all just piled up in there, crawling around. Gives you the good opportunity for some B-roll shots on their bellies. But I know what you guys really want me to do is free handle one of these newts. And don't worry, it's gonna be completely fine. I just wanna be as gentle as possible and not put any stress on the animal, because if I do, they're gonna secrete that toxin. Okay, I'm gonna get the biggest one out of there. You guys ready?
Yep.
I'm just gonna sort of Set the container down here. Oh.
How many newts total did we get?
I picked up 4, but I think there were 6 in that little pocket of water. And I'm just gonna handle a single one. There we go. It'll be a little easier to see it like this. Look at that newt. Wow, look how cute it is. That's amazing. As you look at the back of this newt, from the dorsal side, it looks just like the California newt or the rough-skinned newts that we saw in California. But if you turn it to the underside, you can see where it gets that name, fire belly. And that bright red coloration is a very apparent sign, an aposematic sign, that this is one incredibly toxic amphibian. Now, just behind the head here, see those 2 little lumps just above the ear? Just like a toad, these newts have a parotoid gland. That parotoid gland is filled with poison. Now, if something comes in and threatens to eat this newt, it will secrete poison from that parotoid gland. It has a very noxious smell and a very pungent taste. So that first defense mechanism basically says to any predator, don't eat me, I don't taste good. But if that doesn't deter the predator from turning this creature into a meal, the toxins inside of its body, within its skin and within its muscles, are actually much more potent. In fact, it is one of the 6 most potent toxins in the world. It's a neurotoxic poison. That poison can kill you in as few as 6 hours. So it doesn't matter if you are a human or an animal. If you eat this newt, you are going to die.
And is there any antidote?
There is no antidote for the poison that this newt contains within its body. So the reason for this aposematic coloration, that bright color, is a warning that if you eat me, I am guaranteed to be the last thing you ever eat. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are looking at this species saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, I've seen these in the pet store. Some of you may even have one of these newts as a pet. Mark, I think you said
I had one.
You had one as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's how the toxins work. The toxins come from the little insects that they eat. All of that potency has to do with the food that the amphibian consumes within the environment. Once they're in captivity and they're eating captive newt food, those toxins diminish and they are not as potent. Still, even if you have a newt at home, anytime you handle it, you definitely want to wash your hands. You always want to handle it as gently as possible because they usually secrete the toxin when they feel stressed.
Now, is that as big as they get?
They do get a little bit bigger than this, and the males are larger than the females, so this one is a male. You can see how prominent and lengthy that tail is. Look at that. It works like a rudder to help them quickly move through the environment, and when they swim, they will actually tuck their legs against the side of their body, just like that, almost like an alligator, and then they will thrust themselves forward with the power of that tail. Now, aside from it being toxic, like I said, they are very cute, but they're also voracious predators. These newts will feast upon anything they come across in the environment that will fit inside of their mouths. So little arthropods, small little shrimp, they'll even occasionally take really small frogs and other small salamanders.
Now, are these common in Japan?
Incredibly common. If you come to any aquatic environment, any freshwater environment, whether it's a flowing stream, a pond, or even an agricultural area, you will oftentimes find these newts. Well, we came to Japan with the goal of getting one of the largest amphibians in the world, the Japanese Giant Salamander, up close for the cameras, but we certainly couldn't pass up the opportunity to also feature one of its smallest, cutest, and certainly most toxic amphibian species. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
The fire-belly newt is one of the most toxic amphibians in the world. Yet their calm demeanor and adorable nature disguise them as if they are completely harmless. It's certainly best to admire newts from a safe distance. However, if you do encounter and handle one, just make sure to wash your hands afterwards. With this species crossed off our list, it was time to search out one of the planet's most impressive amphibians, the Japanese Giant Salamander.
A thick cloud of lore has hung for centuries over the densely forested mountains of Japan. Stories that spoke of creatures living and lurking within the shadows of the trees and deep beneath its flowing rivers. Yet, as is often the case with lore, and its tendency to be passed from storyteller to storyteller, the truth behind the tale is often skewed and quite frequently misunderstood. The Tottori Prefecture proudly hails as being one of the most remote stretches of wilderness in all of Japan. Breathtaking is the beauty that defines this wild place, and we are honored to step foot on these sacred grounds. Today, the Brave Wilderness team and I will be breaking trail for an adventure unlike any we have embarked upon before, as we join the world's leading authority in Japanese giant salamander research and conservation, Dr. Sumio Okada, also known as Okada Sensei. For over 2 decades, Okada Sensei has been tirelessly working to protect these fragile amphibians, whose breeding grounds are under the constant threat of habitat degradation due to the building of dams and embankment protection walls. The Japanese giant salamander is the second largest amphibian in the world and is considered a living fossil, as their biology has barely changed in millions of years. This, along with their cryptic nature, has shrouded them in a cloak of mystery, and you will soon understand why they have been revered as river dragons.
Wow, you can feel the energy in the air within this forest. It is ancient, and the animals that live here, these Japanese giant salamanders, are about as prehistoric as it gets. I'll tell you what, guys, the salamanders are out there. So as we get closer to sunset, we're gonna gear up and head out at night. As you know, these amphibians are nocturnal, so our best chance of coming across them will be under the cover of darkness.
Finding river dragons is not impossible under the light of day. Yet it's their nocturnal feeding habits that make them much more likely to emerge from their dens at night.
All right, guys, well, this is the spot. Dr. Okada says this is where we're getting into the river. We're gonna head upstream and hopefully find some giant salamanders. All right, lead the way.
With Okada Sensei leading us forward, the glow of our flashlight beams cut through the darkness, and the search for salamanders was underway. In nearly every episode featured on the Brave Wilderness channel, I have been the one who is expected to safely catch our target species. Yet with the giant salamander, that will not be the case. Due to their vulnerable status and cultural importance to the Japanese people, these amphibians are considered a special national monument by the Japanese government. Strict laws and licensing means only Okada Sensei and other licensed researchers are able to catch and handle giant salamanders in the wild. My job will be to spot and assist in recording data if one is found.
I'll tell you what, guys, you wander away from the rest of the group and just spread out by yourself searching, and I just can imagine what it would be like hundreds of years ago to come across one of these creatures for the first time. You could certainly see where all of the lore and the myth would have come from. These incredible, enormous river dragons just out here in the darkness hunting amongst the current. It's exciting to be out here, and hopefully we're gonna find a big one.
Even with waders keeping our clothes dry, the chill of the water was enough to send consistent shivers down our spines. Yet the thrill of the search and the hope of encountering a true giant kept us all fighting forward. Then suddenly, as if manifested from silt and shadow, there in the ripple of broken fragments of light, the silhouette of a dragon materialized.
Wait, someone right here. Right here, we got one.
Got one?
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, okay. Look at that, perfect ambush behavior right there. Just waiting down current with its head pointed in towards the middle of the river. Now, if a fish or a crab comes by, it's capable of just gulping it straight down into its gullet. Now, if I can take just a minute before we catch it, what I want to do is actually just slink down in the water here with the GoPro on a little light. Let's go ahead and drop those lights down lower. Is that okay for your camera?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, let's try that. And I want to see if I can get some shots of it just naturally right there in its environment. Oh, this is great. All right, it's just holding its ground right now. It definitely can sense that we are here. And I'm able to get right up close to it. Oh, that is so cool. Wow.
That's a good one.
That is a good sized salamander. What an ancient looking creature. All right, Dr. Okada, move in for the catch. Yes! Man, I got a pretty awesome shot right there.
Got it? Whoa.
Got it.
Man,
Nice.
they can be quick.
Wow, look at that. Completely fills the inside of the net. Each salamander is unique, and we have to collect the biometric data for every one that we find. So let's get it up here on shore and get what we need. All right, guys, now before we collect the biometric data of the salamander, what I want to do, because this one is so big, is place it inside of this container so we can take an up-close look at its really cool features. Now, this will allow you guys to get a better look, and of course, us the opportunity to admire it. All right, let's go ahead and get the salamander in there. Oh, this is gonna be cool. You guys got good shots?
Yep.
Here we go. Wow. The Japanese Giant Salamander. Have you ever seen an amphibian of that size? It's so big, it almost doesn't fit in the container. Now, notice the shape of this salamander's head. It's wedge-shaped, it's big, it's flat. That allows them to cut through the current and certainly wedge themselves underneath rocks where, of course, they build their dens. And what's very distinct about this salamander as compared to the hellbender is look at all these fleshy little nodules on the head. We didn't see that with the hellbender. And I'm guessing, and Dr. Okada, correct me if I'm wrong, those are sensory organs, right? To help them feel around in their environment, sense chemicals, because as you can see, they have very small eyes, very poor eyesight. So they primarily rely on their chemical receptors to help them navigate their environment. Now, as you move your way down the length of the amphibian's body, you'll notice these flaps of skin, right? It looks very wrinkly. Those flaps are actually capable of helping them exchange gases within the water. Basically, this is a way for them to breathe when they're completely submerged. As we know, a lot of amphibians absorb their environment or absorb oxygen in through their skin, and the Japanese giant salamander is a perfect example of an amphibian that uses its skin to breathe. Now you'll notice the length between the front legs and the rear legs has quite a noticeable spread, right? That allows them to keep their body really low and squat to the basin of the river. Now, each one of these arms, and of course the legs, are very short and stumpy, but they are armed with little pads on their fingertips. They have 4 fingers up front, 5 fingers in the back, and those little nuptial pads, they're almost peach in coloration, allow them to grip to the basin of the river. Dr. Okada, can we take a look at the salamander's toes? Let's show those little nuptial pads, maybe on the back foot here. If you can just sort of lean that foot up for Mario's camera there. See if we can look at those pads. You guys see that? Go ahead and zoom in there. Now you'll notice that the feet are not really webbed like a frog, right? There's a little bit of webbing, it looks like, at just where the toes connect to the foot, but those pads are really what they rely on to help them move through the environment. They can pretty much lock in place no matter how powerful the current. I noticed that there's like a little divot, a couple divots in the tail. Is that where it's maybe something tried to eat it or bite it?
Yeah, bitten. Something hit the stone.
Okay, so maybe a potential predator bit at this. Of course, males will also fight with each other to protect breeding territories, or of course, as we know, the male Japanese giant salamander is oftentimes considered the den master. They look after the eggs and after the larvae. So, of course, this salamander would be defending its young if something tried to come in and consume the babies. Now, what's really cool is that when we walked up on this salamander, it was in the process of hunting. And to me, that's one of the most impressive features of this creature is the fact that it will lay in wait in an ambush position, and then they have that enormous mouth. Their jaws spread all the way far back so they can just gulp something up straight out of the water, whether it's a crayfish or a crab, a frog, or sometimes they will even eat other salamanders. So in a sense, this amphibian can be cannibalistic. If it's a smaller Japanese giant salamander, it stands the chance of becoming a meal. All right, well, I would say at this point, we're probably ready to collect the biometric data. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring in the measuring tube here, and Dr. Okada is going to pick the salamander up. We're gonna put it in there and collect this important research.
The same protocol is followed for each and every salamander. As the length is carefully recorded, the weight is accurately checked, and the slippery amphibian is scanned to determine whether or not it was previously tagged. This gentle giant was already in the record books, so its biometrics will be updated, and the good news is that it appears healthy and happy. Further confirmation that this remote population, for now, is continuing to thrive.
Well, we have collected all the necessary biometric data, and it is time to release the salamander back into the wild. Dr. Okada, thank you so much for leading this expedition tonight. How awesome was this, guys? Heading into the backcountry of Japan to get up close with the one and only Japanese Giant Salamander. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, back down to the river.
For millions of years, these mysterious creatures lived and thrived within these ancient waters. The legends of countless stories, and the keepers of the river's spirit. Yet in less than a century, the realm of river dragons has nearly been wiped out. The future of the Japanese giant salamander is unknown, and sadly the probability of it becoming extinct is a very real threat due to the negative effects of human activity. If the nesting sites of these beautiful amphibians continue to be destroyed, with the building of dams and embankment protection walls, their fate is all but written in the concrete that is yet to be poured. For Okada-sensei, the fight to educate the public and protect the giants and their habitats that do still remain is never ending. Yet hope shines brightly as the work he so passionately enjoys is already being passed down and honored by his son with open arms and smiles of excitement. If you would like to make a difference in protecting the Japanese giant salamander and also dream of seeing these beautiful animals in the wild for yourself, make sure to visit the website that is helping to ensure that there's a future in the realm of river dragons. The giant salamander is considered a special national monument by the Japanese government, and for centuries, it has lurked in the shadows of myth and lore. Ranking as the second largest salamander species in the world, they can grow to lengths of nearly 5 feet, classifying them as monstrous in the world of amphibians. The Brave Wilderness team and I had the incredible honor of working alongside renowned salamander expert Dr. Sumio Okada, and we traveled deep into the wilds of the Tottori Prefecture to find and collect biometric data on these elusive river dragons.
Wait, something right here. Right here, we got one. Wow, look at that. Have you ever seen an amphibian of that size?
Due to their vulnerable status and strict licensing, only Okada-sensei was allowed to catch and handle the wild specimens. Yet when it comes to giants in captivity, the regulations are a bit more flexible. Today we are visiting the Hanzaki Research Institute of Japan. For over a decade, their mission has been to research and help to ensure the survival of the Japanese giant salamander. In the field, I did my best to learn all I could from Okada-sensei. My diligence toward being a good student in the art of giant salamander research ultimately earned my teacher's trust, and I was given the invitation to assist in the yearly data collection for the Institute's oldest, largest, and most cherished salamander, the great Osanchiro.
All right, so Okada-sensei said, wait right here. He's going up there into the enclosure to check on the salamander. Now, this is one of the largest Japanese giant salamanders ever found that is currently on record. He tells me it is absolutely enormous. It's going to dwarf anything that we saw in the field. I'm super excited. I can barely contain myself right now because I'm going to be able to get hands-on with this animal to help with the measurements. So the role is going to sort of be reversed here. I'm going to be collecting the measurements. Okada-sensei is going to be writing them down. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to see one of the largest Japanese giant salamanders ever seen.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Oh no, he's supposed to wait right here. Yeah. Oh, I'm like jumping out of my skin right now.
All right, ready?
Good.
All right,
We're ready.
let's do it.
Let's do it, guys.
Oh man.
You guys nervous?
I don't know, I'm excited.
Following in the footsteps of my teacher, we ascended a flight of stairs and entered the paddock of this ancient creature. Its fenced and fortified containment area wasn't necessarily designed to keep the salamander in, but instead was designed to keep any potential predators out.
Now, Okada Sensei has quarantined the biggest one down in one enclosure for us, so it's easier to find, easier for us to catch and collect the biometric data. So it's in this one.
You see it?
Oh, right there, look at that. Look, that's its nose sticking out. Whoa, hold on, get a shot, get a shot. That is a giant salamander. All right, so what we're gonna do is actually enter into the enclosure. We'll peel back these boards, gently get the salamander out into the open water. We're gonna have to get it into a net and then up here to collect the biometric data, but we'll spend a couple minutes there inside the enclosure to sort of look at some of its features and just be in awe of what this creature is. Come around like this. All right, I'll let you go in first. I'm gonna leave my pack up here, guys. All right, guys, I'm going in.
Okay, careful.
Getting into the water. Woo, that is cold. That is some cold water. All right, here, hand me your camera.
Oh boy. Here you go, Mario.
Woo! Before we get the salamander out of there, let me see if I can get a shot of it with the GoPro just hunkered down here. So it's right under here, right? Here. Okay. Let's try to move really, really slowly so that we don't muddy the water. We want to try to keep it as clear as possible. I'm gonna have to just go, sort of just go blind on this here. And hopefully the camera is picking up the salamander. You can see
It's definitely moving backwards. More of the tail's coming out the back.
a lot of debris in there. Oh, I see it, you're right. It is starting to come out the back. Well, maybe we're getting a shot. Tough to tell.
Oh man, it's big.
There it is, it's right there.
It's actually backing out the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, it is huge. That is just its tail. Its tail is like the size of a canoe paddle. This is the largest amphibian I have ever seen in my life. It's time to reveal the beast. You ready?
I do?
You do the rocks?
Yeah, and you
I'll get the boards? Okay. Guys, this is something that is done once a year, removing the salamander from the breeding paddock to collect its biometric data. This is a very special day, an incredible honor for all of us to be a part of this process. This is it.
Are you ready?
This is it, yeah. Try to not disturb this silt.
Whoa.
Look at that. Are you kidding me? Look at the size of that thing. There's the head, there's the head. Look at it, it's the size of a cantaloupe. Whoa, my goodness, that is a monstrous salamander.
It's so much bigger than I thought. Oh, wait, there's two.
Yeah, there's a smaller one in here. Smaller one in here, there's another one over here, but that is the big guy. Okada Sensei, so what's the best plan from here? Is it okay for me to go in and bring the salamander around to this side?
yeah, and catch with net.
Okay. Got it, thank you. Now here's a question. Before we get it in the net, can you bring it up here and can I slightly lift it to reveal it for the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, before we put it in the net, because once it's in the net, it'll be really hard to see. I'm gonna actually move this smaller one into the next tube here. Come here, buddy. Oh, it is so unique feeling. There you go. You go in here. Oh, wow. This is the first contact I have made with one of these salamanders. It is incredible. Come on, big guy. There we go. And slowly coax him down through here. There we go. Wow, look at that. An absolute giant. What an ancient creature. A living fossil. This animal is well over 100 years of age. Look at how cool that thing is. Can you believe that? Look at it. Whoa. Oh, he's so slimy. Impossible to hold on to. That's why we have to use a dip net to actually get it out of here. Not only is it strong, but it's also incredibly slippery. All right, so we're gonna gently, there we go, slide down into that net. Okay, the salamander is safely inside of the dip net. So I'm gonna go up and Okada Sensei is gonna pass the giant up to me.
Oh, heavy. Got it?
Okay, yep. Whoa. Got him. Yep, good, good, good. Whoa, it is strong. It is heavy. Wow. All right, that is me cradling a Japanese giant salamander. Tail first.
Head first.
Head first. Okay, so that this end opens up. Yeah. Okay. Set it in here. There we go. Okay. I do have to be careful that I'm not bitten. They do have extremely sharp teeth, and this is a very large animal. So I have to gently get this opened up, and then he will slide out this end. All right, here we go. Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that giant. Hi, buddy. Okay. Wow. Okay, got my hand underneath the jaw. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna gently slide it down here, Okada Sensei, so that we can fully reveal the salamander. There we go. So slippery. The layer of mucus that coats their bodies it's just like, you see that? It's like snot. Now we want to put as little stress on the creature as possible. We're going to quickly collect the biometric data, get a couple of cool shots, and then release it right back into the enclosure. But let's just take 1 second to admire the design of this animal's body. Look at how wide it is. Look at the head. And you know what? I'm looking, I can't even see the eyes. The eyes are right up front here. They have such teeny tiny little eyes. Get a little water out of there. Oh, that's good. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Its head is bigger than your head.
It is. I feel like my entire head could fit inside of its mouth, but that's not a place that you want to find yourself. Look at the tail. Enormous. Absolutely enormous. So much power in this animal, and when I was cradling it as it came up out of the enclosure, you could feel just how strong it truly was. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna end up getting is the total length of the animal. Oh, you hear that noise that it's making?
Yeah, like this.
It's like a grumbling. Oh, he's gonna push that rock, push those rocks down. Okay. Okay, cool. We've kind of got him in a good position to get the total length here. Right there? Okay. We're just gonna go with this here. We are at 49 and a half. 49 and a half is what it appears. In centimeters, that is 126 centimeters. Wow, that is a giant. Okay, so we're not gonna do the snout to vent length. It's too much to put this animal on its back to get that measurement. So the next thing we're gonna do is get the head width and also the tail height, and finally its body weight. We've got some rain rolling in, so we're gonna have to do this quickly, guys. All right, I'm gonna get the tail height first. I wanna do that at the highest point, if possible. It is right at 14. 14 centimeters? 14. 21? 21. All right, head width, 21 centimeters. Absolutely dwarfs the giant that we caught in the field. All right, so the next things to do?
Body weight.
Body weight. Okay, so how do we get the body weight?
To
put
put
it
in container.
Okay, put it inside the blue container and then put that on top of this. Okay, great. So we're putting a little bit of water inside of the container just to keep the salamander hydrated. You don't want its skin to stick to the basin. All right, so we're saying that the weight of the container with the water is 16 kilograms. We will put the salamander inside and then subtract that weight from 16.
Coyote, lie down next to it real quick.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to comprehend how big this thing is. You're right, unless we get something like a human next to it for scale. Look at that. All right, now we have to do this quickly and very gently because it's very, very slippery. So you have as little chance for error as possible. Come here, big guy.
Take it first.
Yep. Okay, there you go. Real gentle. All right. Oh, man. So big. Look at that. For the main episode the other night when we were in the field, we had a small container. This is as big as it gets.
So why is this giant salamander in captivity? Great question. Many years ago, during the building of a bridge system, its home was destroyed, and the animal was accidentally injured by a piece of heavy machinery. The construction team quickly realized what they had found and immediately alerted the Hanzaki Institute. The good news is that the salamander survived. The bad news is that its home was destroyed, and as a displaced animal of this size and stature, it was decided that the great Osanshiro should be kept in captivity.
So that just goes to show you guys that even if an animal like this loses an appendage, something like its foot or its toes, it still has the ability to survive against all odds. I mean, this is considered a national treasure right here. When you look at an animal like this and you think to yourself, wow, this has been on the planet longer than most of us, it is certainly something that needs to be preserved, that needs to be cherished and honored. And it's really cool that this salamander is now a part of the breeding program here at the Hanzaki Institute. All right, you guys ready to get the weight?
Yep, let's get the weight.
Okay, so hands off of the container. We've got it perfectly balanced. Salamander on the scale, and we are at just about 30 kilograms. Remember, we need to take 16 away from that, so 14 kilograms is the weight of this amphibian, an absolute giant. Cannot believe it. Never thought that I would see a salamander of this size.
Man,
So cool.
all right. Cool. Do we want to look at some of its interesting characteristics?
Sure, yeah, let's take it back down off of the scale. We've only got a couple more minutes with it, and then we got to get it back into its enclosure. Okay. All right, guys, now the last thing we need to do is sort of just examine the salamander's features, make sure its feet and all the aspects of its body are in really good shape. So the first thing we're going to look at are the 4 feet here. The hands, look at that. Look at how big that hand is. Now, these salamanders have 4 toes on the front feet, and on the back feet, they have 5 toes. Check that out. And those digits are about as big in width as my fingers. Look at that. Holding hands with a Japanese giant salamander. Salamander is incredibly healthy. When you get down to here, you'll notice all of the muscle in this tail. It is just a solid mass of power. Look at that. A large rudder that helps this animal move through the environment and also to quickly maneuver itself if it needs to escape from a predator. Now look at these flaps of skin that run along the sides of the body here. They're actually able to absorb oxygen through those flaps, which helps them to breathe underwater. As we know, they also have lungs. Actually, it was just blowing some bubbles up front there.
So this animal breathes through its skin.
It can. They have lungs. They do come to the surface to get a big gulp of air, but they can stay submerged for hours at a time, especially when the males are defending the den. As we know, the males are oftentimes called den masters. They protect the eggs, they protect the larvae.
So Coyote, what does it feel like?
Like a big, wet, muscular slinky. Go ahead, Mark. Reach down in there. Get some water on your hands first. And just give it a little pet. Feel the skin. Very dense, right?
Oh, wow. A lot different than actually I imagined it being a lot slimier. It's not that slimy.
Yeah, no, but they do secrete more mucus if they're feeling stressed. So it's really good. You can see the animal's completely calm at this point. Just keeping it in a little bit of water helps keep it hydrated. All right, well, I think we have collected all the necessary data, which means it is time for us to safely get this salamander back into its enclosure. All right. That never gets any easier.
Salamander coming in.
Got him. Good. Okay. This. All right, there we go. All right, got him.
There he is.
All right. Oh, he's so slippery. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right, here he goes. Wow. That was cool. Okada Sensei, thank you so much for giving us the chance to get up close with this national treasure. What an incredible day for the Brave Wilderness crew and a true honor to work with this salamander here in Japan. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
Nice. High five.
All right, I'm getting out of this cold water.
Working alongside Okada Sensei in the field, and getting hands-on with Japanese giant salamanders while visiting the Hanzaki Institute was one of the most meaningful experiences the Brave Wilderness team and I have ever had. Approximately 41% of the world's amphibian species are threatened, and giant salamanders are no exception. The significance this animal holds in Japanese culture cannot be matched, and it was a true honor that we as visitors to this sacred land were entrusted with telling these stories. Conservation efforts for the giant salamander are imperative for its survival, and if you would like to help, make sure to visit bushidojapan.com to ensure that there is a future for these majestic animals.
Oh, look at this, look at this.
You got something?
Look at that. That's a stag beetle. Mario!
Yeah.
I got a stag beetle.
Okay.
Bring that little bug container up here. We gotta film with this.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him the container.
You got it in your backpack?
Yep.
That's a stag beetle. Some sort of stag beetle. There's many different species. Wow. Trying to climb up here. Just filming B-roll, getting these extra shots. And sure enough, come around the backside of this log, and there is an enormous beetle. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick it up. Okay. Come here, buddy. Oh, don't get pinched, don't get pinched. Wow, he's strong. Got it. Whoa. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, check this out.
You guys can see this, like I was showing you the B-roll shots, this environment's really tough to walk around in, but this is perfect beetle territory with all this decomposing wood.
Here.
Yeah. Put, just grab like a piece of moss or something. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, good thing we have this little bug carrier with us. Here you go, buddy. Oh, he's pinching onto it. Nice.
You got it?
Yeah, stag beetle.
Nice.
We'll bring it down and let's get a little scene with it.
All right, I'm gonna put it in my backpack.
Yeah.
Say,
Wow, I consider it a big one, right?
that's big. Great job, dude.
All right, down we go. Whoa. Yes, stag beetle. This is so cool. Definitely a creature that we have not featured on the channel before. All right, let's find a good spot to set up, and then we'll get a scene. Oh, check this out, Mark.
Yeah, let me see it.
This thing is super cool. Look at that.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, right?
Check that out. Here, pull it out of the container real quick.
Watch your fingers, though. Watch your fingers. Here, he's kind of tangled up inside of this. Oh. Hold on there, buddy.
Oh, nice.
Look at that, right?
Great stag.
Pretty cool. Whoa. All right, here, let's just get him back into the container. Grab him by the thorax there, Mario.
Put the whole thing?
No, just put him in like that because he's just gonna grip onto that stuff. Sweet. Okay, cool. I just want to be on that for coming down the hillside.
Nice,
Dude.
Nice climbing, Mario. That was awesome.
I guess filming B-roll pays off, and now we're gonna get another episode. This is great.
All right, cool. All right, let's go over here into the light.
Yeah, better light.
Yep.
Woo! All right, cool. This is a good spot. Much better light. Super dark up there in the forest. And this is the Brave Wilderness Adventure Kit bug container. We brought it out for some product photography and putting it to good use. This was perfect because I didn't want to try to slide down the hill with this beetle in my fingers. I mean, if I drop it, it's gonna disappear into the underbrush. What a cool find. All right, I'm gonna set this down and take the bug out. I put a little leaf in there so he wouldn't bounce around when I was walking.
Yeah, for the reveal.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, he's hanging on. There we go, buddy. Oh yeah, grip onto that leaf. There we go.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a big guy.
Whoa, you can really see it now.
Right? All right, now I'm gonna get that leaf off of there. Come on, let go of that leaf. Oh, they are so strong. Look at that. I can just rip that leaf apart.
Man.
And it just shreds up in
Not
the
letting go of
beetles.
that leaf.
There we go. Those little legs are like grappling hooks. So what I'm gonna do is place it on my finger. Maybe it will just stay right there. It's going to hook on, and hopefully we can get this scene. You gonna hold on? Oh, balancing act. Here, get this little leg out. There we go. Now he's happy. Now, the male stag beetles are much larger and much more defined than the females. This is, ow, no pinching. This is without question a male. Now there
are many species of stag beetles, and I said this to the GoPro when I was up there catching it. I'm not sure exactly which species this is. We're gonna have to look it up, but it is without question a stag beetle of some sort. Now they get that name, ooh, come here. Oh, he's hooking on again. They get that name from those front mandibles. If you zoom in on them there, Mario, you can see that they almost look like the antlers of a deer. They look very intimidating, right? And you may be thinking to yourself, wow, I bet this beetle can give you a pretty powerful pinch. Let's see how bad the pinch of the stag beetle really is. Are you guys ready?
If you're ready. Oh, you're just going right for it.
I'm going right for it, but I'll give you the classic intro. You ready?
All right.
I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with the stag beetle. 1, 2, 3. He's pinched out pretty good there, but not powerful enough to break skin. Now, actually, what will get you more than the pinchers is the little grappling hook-like legs. Go ahead and zoom in there. They have all these tiny hooks that almost look like fish hooks, and when they grapple onto your skin, they dig in. When you try to pull the insect off of you, it just locks in place, and that's actually more painful than the mandible pinch. It appears as if they would use those mandibles to catch and kill their prey, to crush it, to pinch it. But these insects are actually herbivores. They eat nectar and fruits. Now, during the breeding season, they use those stags for not only display, but also to battle against other males for the rights to a breeding territory. The body design of this insect is just so cool. And as you guys know, insects break down into 3 parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And if I turn the beetle up like this, look at its head. Almost appears as if it's wearing a helmet. And when you look at those mandibles, you can see why this is such an intimidating little insect. Now look off to the side here. You see these little antennae? It almost appears as if there are fingers just at the tip. Those are little chemical sensory organs that help them investigate their environment. If I also hold the beetle like this and you zoom in real tight, you can see all these goldish hairs running over the course of the exoskeleton. Holding the beetle like this, I actually have to exert quite a bit of power because of how strong this insect is. Now, pound for pound, the stag beetle is one of the most powerful insects on the planet. Now, that exoskeleton is incredibly rigid, really strong, really hard. It's like armor plating. It'd be very tough to squish this beetle. And they are actually capable of flying. Can you see these 2 protective shields over the abdomen? There are actually wings underneath there. Now, because this insect is so heavily bodied, it cannot fly long distances. But if it needs to move from spot to spot quickly, it can do that. Of course, oftentimes to escape something like a predator or to move from territory to territory during breeding season. And you can see it's just investigating my arm right now and using those grappling hook-like appendages to hold on. Now, this time of year, between September and October, you will see these beetles moving about, getting ready for breeding season, but they die shortly after. They actually only have a lifespan of about a year from larva or grub state to adult when they emerge and then breed. There are a number of different beetle species that live here in Japan. In fact, beetles are considered little cultural icons. People collect beetles, people trade beetles. They are highly regarded in Japanese culture as just this cool little insect that only comes out once a year, and people certainly admire them for what they are. Pretty cool, right?
Oh yeah.
Man, what an awesome little bug. All right, well, let's get this guy back up into the underbrush so he can continue his day searching for nectar. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, it is time for the climb back up the hillside to release the beetle. All right, come here, little buddy. There he goes. Pretty cool exploring the countryside here in Japan, just scouting some location. Ooh, look at that. Oh no, that's a dead praying mantis. Oh, buddy. I hate to see them when they're dead. That stinks. There's a garden right over here. Oh, guys. Praying mantis.
Nice.
Yes. I just saw a dead one. This one's alive.
Cool. You want to film a scene?
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely worth filming a little segment with this guy.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Cool. Let's head right over here.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Wow. Good timing. Rain is moving in.
Yeah, I think we only have a few minutes to do this, but
Definitely worth getting a little
you
segment
know your
with.
mantis facts, right?
Oh yeah. Well guys, we're just walking down the road right now, scouting locations, and right in the middle of the road is this beautiful green praying mantis. Now, we featured praying mantis on the channel a couple of times, but never a species here in Japan. Now, there's several different species that live in Japan, so we'll have to look this up to identify it properly, but we just can never pass up the opportunity to get one of these insects up close for the cameras. And this one is being incredibly calm. Most of the time, they're trying to pinch me with those front arms or trying to fly away. So we figured, why not get a quick little scene with this insect? Now, as you guys know, all insects break down into 3 parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. What's really cool about praying mantis is look how long that thorax is just behind the head. And then of course you've got this large abdomen, which indicates that it is likely a female. Now, the females do grow larger than the males, and as you may know, and if you don't know now, you're about to know, when the males and the females breed, afterwards the females bite the heads off of the males and eat the bodies. So it's sort of a cannibalistic sort of situation, but still pretty cool. I mean, these insects have a very unique life process, and after they lay their eggs, they end up dying. So we are just at the beginning of egg laying season, so this praying mantis doesn't have too much time left, but certainly still something really cool to get up close for the cameras. Now, one thing that I love about these insects is look at that face. Looks just like an alien from another planet. Those big buggy eyes. Now, they do have incredible eyesight, and as we know, praying mantis are ambush hunters. Because of their color, they can stay camouflaged in all the plants where they live, and then they wait for something to come close, latch out with those front arms, grab onto it, crush it with those sharp little spikes, and then, of course, eat their prey. What a cool creature. Now, let me turn it like this. You see on the back, covering the abdomen there, these are the wings. And praying mantis are capable of flying, usually only for a short distance. They tend to want to move from spot to spot more so just by crawling amongst all of the foliage. But if some predatory threat comes into the environment, they of course can then take off and quickly escape. You may be asking yourself, well, what would eat a bug that's as cool as a praying mantis? Certainly birds, different reptiles, and even mammals will take this species. Wow, pretty sweet. And one thing that I love about the praying mantis is how inquisitive and intelligent this insect seems. Look at those big eyes. Always curious, always paying attention to its surroundings. And what you may not know is that praying mantis are both diurnal and nocturnal, meaning that you'll see them active during the day, but also at night. Now, the praying mantis is an opportunistic feeder, meaning it will pretty much take anything that it can grapple onto, even things bigger than itself. Things such as small frogs, even lizards, and small snakes are capable of being eaten by this insect. Wow. I absolutely love praying mantis, and people oftentimes ask me what my favorite animal is, and as you guys know, it is the common snapping turtle. But when it comes to insects, the praying mantis has always been the one that I've been fascinated with ever since I was a little kid. But this is pretty cool, walking down the street, scouting locations, and we happen upon the one and only praying mantis. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, there's actually a garden right over here. She was heading that direction, so let's place her in there, and hopefully she'll find some cool food to eat. All right, back into this garden you go.
The Brave Wilderness channel features plenty of dangerous animals. From snapping turtles and grizzly bears, to water moccasins and tiger sharks. So trust me when I say that featuring a non-dangerous species is a welcome breath of fresh air. Today we are back on location in Japan. And while I know you are all waiting in heated anticipation for this, here we go. Before we even found the giant hornet, we stumbled upon another one of Japan's giants that is far less painful to interact with. Toad, toad, toad!
Where?
Right there, look, look. Wow, do you know what that is?
That's a big toad.
It is a big toad. That's the Japanese common toad. A native species. We're usually used to seeing toads.
He's getting away.
Oh no, he's getting in that hole. Come here.
Oh, buddy. Look at you. Oh, hear that little chirping?
Oh,
Wow! Holy mackerel, that is a cool looking toad. Okay, I think we definitely need to film a segment with this one. Here, let's step back just a little bit onto the trail and get it into a controlled situation. Wow! How about that? That is the Japanese toad, one of the coolest looking amphibians that you will find here in this country. And it's a pretty good size too. Now, when we're talking toads, the females oftentimes grow larger than the males. To be honest with you guys, I can't tell if this is a male or a female because they can get bigger than this. And look at the coloration, so distinct. Look at that bright gold that runs all over the body, the black speckles, and I love this dark line that runs just behind the ear and down to the belly. And speaking of the belly, check this out. Come here, little toad. Look at the speckling on the belly.
oh wow. Look at that pattern.
Pretty cool looking, right? Oh, look at that pudgy little belly. Now, these toads are opportunistic feeders, and they will eat pretty much any little small arthropod or crustacean that they come across in the forest. And these toads are always out on the move, and you can see this toad is just gonna climb here. I'm gonna let it climb from hand to hand. That's gonna be easier. It wants to move. You see how they climb oftentimes as compared to hopping. Hopping is usually used by toads to escape from a predator quickly. In this instance, the toad is just feeling, all right, I'm gonna climb from spot to spot up the mountain of Coyote's hands. Now, they have incredible eyesight both during the day and at night. And in a very heavily canopied forest like this toad is gonna be hunting at any opportunity that it gets. Now, when it comes to predators, most things avoid toads because, as we know, they are poisonous, and that poison comes from the parotoid glands. And this one's got some pretty prominent glands just above the ears there. You can actually see the little pores. Now, if this toad was feeling extremely stressed, or let's say I was an actual predator that was trying to eat it and I bit down on the toad, it would secrete that poison, which of course is toxic and has a very, very nasty taste. But this toad is feeling very calm right now, and I just love the bumpiness to the toad's skin. And what's really unique about this species specifically is that during the breeding season, the male's skin will actually get smooth, so it would look more like a frog. Look at those forelimbs. Oh, buddy, I see it.
Like a Popeye toad.
It is, and it's starting to puff up now. It's saying, all right, just let me back up into the forest. But before we do, look at these legs. Strong, muscular legs. You can see those rear feet there have a little bit of webbing, and unlike frogs, toads are primarily terrestrial, which means they're moving through the forest, over logs, over rocks, and they're excellent climbers. A toad like this, when it needs to hide or if it wants to sleep, it will burrow down probably up under a rock, like where we saw it. That could be this toad's territory. Had perfect opportunity with some water flowing through there, lots of plants, lots of soft mud, a perfect place to search for food, and of course to hide or sleep.
So, are these toads common, Coyote?
Yes, in fact, they're oftentimes called the common Japanese toad. Of course, us being able to find one was, just right place, right time, but from what I know, yes, this is a fairly common species. And despite the fact that it's gold in coloration, let me turn it like that. Take a good look at the color of that toad. It still manages to hide incredibly well amongst all the fallen pine needles and the light and the shadows. Now, one thing that I often notice with toads is they have a tendency to pee on you. And of course, that is a defense mechanism to get something to let go of it. But so far, this toad has not peed at all.
It's been talking to you, though.
Yeah, it's a little talkative. Oh, and as soon as I say that, the toad just opens up, and that's a lot of toad pee. Now, I'm not worried about this animal becoming dehydrated because if you can hear, there's a river in the background and this environment is incredibly saturated. But at this juncture, the toad is pretty much saying, okay, I've had enough time in front of the cameras. Please place me back into the forest, which is exactly what we're gonna do. But how cool is this? Coming across Bufo japanicus, one of the coolest amphibians in all of Japan. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Definitely gonna need to wash my hands.
All across the planet, toads seem to hop across our paths. And I seem to never lose my excitement for these fascinating terrestrial amphibians. The Japanese giant toad is without question the most brilliantly decorated species we have ever encountered. These adorable, yet potentially toxic animals are for the most part completely safe to interact with. And despite their warty appearance, they cannot give you warts. However, if you do catch and admire a toad, no matter what the species, always wash your hands after you have released it back into the wild. No matter what location we visit, the Brave Wilderness team always seems to have success locating its native snake species. This is partially due to the fact that our wildlife biologist, Mario Aldecoa, has had a lifelong fascination with these often feared reptiles. The island country of Japan was to be no exception, and today we are exploring a remote stretch of wilderness that has already produced one of the most common and friendly species, the four-lined rat snake.
Snake, snake, snake. Mario, what is that? That's a rat snake, right?
Rat snake.
Got its tail, got its tail.
Got it?
That is the four-line rat snake, one of the coolest constrictor species here in Japan, and actually one of the largest snakes that you'll find anywhere here in Japan.
In the hours previous, consistent rain showers had moved through, saturating the landscape and bringing this mountainous environment to life.
This forest is ancient. Oh no, here comes the rain again. I thought we were out of it. Oh, it is relentless. And the thing about rain like this is, if you're looking for reptiles, they're likely hunkered down. If you're looking for amphibians, it can be perfect. There are newts in this area. There are also giant Japanese toads. And either of those species would make a great episode. It's just a matter of finding one of those specimens. All right, keep going.
As we continued onward, we eventually found ourselves in a series of grassy thickets, which we knew would be perfect for snake activity. And sure enough, it was Mario that made the next slithering discovery.
Ooh, guys. Snake. Snake.
Where? Ooh.
What kind is that?
Is that a keelback?
Oh, dude, this is a keelback. You need to grab it.
Yeah,
Is that venomous?
It is.
It is venomous.
Watch it. Use the snake hook.
Wow. That looks just like a garter snake. Whoa, hold on a second.
That's a tiger keelback.
Crouch down. Yes, dude, good spotting. Wow, I would have probably grabbed that and thought it was a garter snake. It looks just like one. Hold on, let me see if we can get it to stay completely calm.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, hold on. I'm gonna just try to very gently handle the snake. Staying very calm. Here we go. Okay.
Ooh.
There we go. If I handle the snake really gently, they're not very striky. Okay, wow.
So what would happen if the snake bit you?
It would really have to latch on and bite down to get that venom into me, so I'm not real worried about that. And what I don't want to do, though, is actually head this snake, because what's very unique about this species is not only is it venomous, it's also poisonous. They have two glands right on the back of their neck, and what they'll do sometimes, if they feel threatened, is puff themselves up, and these glands will actually eject poison. Now, if something comes in and tries to bite down on this snake, and gets any of that poison in its mouth, it has a very awful taste. So similar to a dart frog, dart frogs get their poison from the small ants that they eat. This snake gets its poison from the toads that it eats. Now that name, tiger keelback snake, comes from the fact that they have keeled scales running along the length of their body. And when the snake breathes, you can actually see the black stripes and the orange coloration. As we know, that bright coloration is aposematic, warning any potential predator that I am toxic. And in this case, both venomous and poisonous. Whoa, that is a cool looking snake. Now, if you didn't know any better, you look at that snake's face, it looks just like the face of a garter snake, which is a completely harmless species, but there are no garter snakes in Japan. I am free handling this snake at this point. I'm trying to be very gentle with it and very calm. You're probably saying to yourselves, Coyote, you're free handling a venomous snake. But like I said, these snakes are not very bitey and they're rear-fanged, fixed rear fangs. So for this to actually inject venom into me, it would have to latch onto my finger and chew, almost the way that a Gila monster chews on its prey to get that venom to work into its victim.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
So what would happen if you were bitten by that snake?
That's a great question. It is a hemotoxic venom, very similar to the venom of a boomslang. What that will actually do is get into your system and it will begin to hemorrhage you, right? So that means you'll be bleeding internally. So it is a very bad bite, one of the most venomous snakes that they have here in Japan. Now, anti-venom is available for this snake bite, but it's very hard to come by because people are hardly ever bitten by this snake species. So, as long as I am very gentle holding the snake, I should be just fine. Guys, as I often tell you, never try to handle snakes. It's always important to properly identify them first. Never, ever, ever try to handle a venomous snake the way that I am right here. Such an unassuming looking snake, so calm, so docile, yet it is one of the most toxic snakes here in Japan. This was pretty awesome, finding our first 2 reptiles of the trip, one non-venomous snake and one venomous, but also poisonous snake. How cool was that? I'm Coyote Peterson, be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Man, great find, Mario.
Of all the snake species we have featured on the Brave Wilderness channel, from the non-venomous to the venomous, the tiger keelback is without a doubt a true anomaly. Its visual similarity to the garter snake makes it appear completely non-threatening. And while they are noticeably docile, the fact that they are both venomous and poisonous makes them incredibly toxic. Envenomation is rare due to the snake's calm demeanor and tendency to ward off predators with its threatening display. However, anti-venom does exist if a bite were to occur. That being said, I cannot stress enough how important it is to never handle or interact with snakes unless you are 100% certain it is a non-toxic species. And like I always say, when in doubt, the best interactions can always be had by simply admiring the animal from a safe distance.